Do you desire some do-overs today? Are you thinking about things? See, do-overs really refer to what is a very important theological concept, a theological term. It's called redemption. Redemption means that something is alienated, something is lost, something is out there, and it's brought back. In the case of human beings, it's people who have alienated themselves from God or been alienated somehow and seem lost, and then they are brought back in relationship with God. One of the most common words associated with redemption is forgiveness. Forgiveness brings us back with one another, with loved ones in various situations. It heals us, and it's really a do-over. Try again. Today's gospel tells of a great do-over for Thomas, for instance, and for all the disciples. I want to read to you a little piece that was written by Lauren Dykstra, who writes for Sojourners magazine. And she describes the scene in that room that we read from the gospel. She describes it like this. When Jesus appeared to his disciples, they were hiding upstairs in a locked room. The friends who knew him best, who had betrayed him, who had pretended they didn't know him, who had run away when he was dying, who hid when he was arrested, who were frightened and ashamed. He appeared among them and he greeted them. He didn't say, "What happened?" Or, "Where were you when I needed you?" Or, "You really screwed up." He greeted them saying, "Peace be with you." The disciples had done most everything wrong. Yes, they had betrayed him. They had run away and hid. They had let fear take over their lives. At the most crucial point, it seems, when all the promises that Jesus made should have stood forth for them, they became like us, and they got scared. And they were now ashamed. And we would say, what a great bunch of friends he had. After those 3 years of living with him, what a great bunch of friends. But Jesus comes blessing them. Peace be with you. See, this is redemption. This is him restoring this relationship. They are still his friends. He loves them no matter what. This part of the story, I think, is very hard for us to believe because we are skeptical 21st century people. In fact, we more often hear and probably have more often said, "Hey, what happened to you? Where were you when I needed you?" And an interesting point is that we somehow believe, especially with the people who love us most, that they read our minds, You should have known I needed you. A lot of times spouses say this. For those of you who are getting ready to get married, let me tell you, you can't read each other's minds, but you think you can. You should have known. You should have known I didn't want to go there. What was wrong with you? Or, are you upset, dear? You know very well I am upset. No, I don't. That's why I'm asking you. Are you upset? What are you upset about? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. If you don't know, you think this stuff comes in situation comedies, and because some brilliant writer wrote it, those guys, they're not writing anything. They're just living. They come from their wife, or the wives come from their husbands, and then they write down what the husband said this morning, and we say, "Oh, is that ridiculous?" That's really funny. This is real life. Where were you when I needed you? Or, you screwed up. What happened? After all the things I taught you? My father used to say to me, when I would do something wrong as a kid, maybe you heard the same thing or something like it, "How dumb can you be?" The real answer to that is, I don't know, what's the limit? But quite frankly, that's the way we treat things. How dumb can you be? You knew better than this. I taught you better than this. Why did you do it this way? Why did you screw up? See, that's what it sounds like today. And that, quite frankly, must have been what the disciples expected. Because we in our society hang on to the idea of striking out. Some people strike out, that's it, we're done with them. And sometimes it's whole groups of people who seem to have lived a strikeout kind of life, can't get anywhere, and we get done with those people. Oh, you can't expect anything from them. Whole groups of them. Racism and sexism and ageism and all those things are founded on these ideas. I'm telling you that for people in my age group, my category, I'm glad that I'm happy here, because I'd have a heck of a time finding another church that wouldn't say, well, we were expecting someone younger. I have a reply to that, but I can't repeat it from the pulpit. It seems ingrained in us, in all of us, both for others and even for ourselves, there are no do-overs. We even hold it against ourselves, that maybe there's a limited number of do-overs, or there's do-overs that we allow ourselves in part of our lives, but then there are some parts where we just say, that's it. I made too big a mistake. It was too big a failure. And I've said before, quite frankly, some of the people, even people in public life, we remember them by the worst thing they ever did. There is no redemption for them. The crazy thing about this is that whether it's about ourselves or about any other people, we decide for God when we say, there are no do-overs. God has said, there are no do-overs. If there's anything crazier than us speaking for God in the important things of life, I don't know what it is.